Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Talk to Myself. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Dante Toro, and today we are back with the big episode 10. Yes, we made it. Yes, save your round of applause. Save your round of applause for the very end. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Made it to double digits of Talk to Myself. Probably the furthest I've gone with a solo podcast in my entire life. I have been a part of numerous podcasts since I have been in college, post-college, and stuff with the Boston Celtics, NBA, now wrestling, of course. And I've had a few of them that I did solo, and they did not last long, but we made it here to episode 10. Thank you guys so much for being here. Just like the first 9 episodes, thank you for your constant support of this podcast and this channel overall. Before I get started, make sure to check out all the other videos on this platform, yada, yada, yada. You know the deal if you're an audio-only listener. 5-star review, 5-star rating. I appreciate it so much. Okay, happy Monday, everybody. How's everybody doing? How was your weekend? How was your week? I hope all of my fans, anyone that is watching me from the Dallas area, I hope you're doing well. I honestly hope you took the day off. I hope that you are doing whatever you need to do to mentally, come back from what happened this past week. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I was going to talk about it after my first topic, but I'm kind of already leading into it. To anybody that may or may not follow basketball, you may or may not have heard of this player called Luka Doncic. He played for the Dallas Mavericks, was drafted 7 years ago, 2018, was playing professionally when he was 15, 16 years old overseas. In my opinion, I think he is going to go down as one of the greatest NBA players ever, not just of this generation. I think that he has I think he has, some skills that are better than others. I think he is one of the most talented offensive players this league has ever seen, but when it comes to defense, not so much. But regardless, he is genuinely one of, if not the best player in the NBA when he is healthy. And he got traded on Saturday night / Sunday morning. It was or was it? Yeah, I think it was Saturday night. And it just was such a shock. It is the most shocking trade in NBA history. There's no beating around the bush or nothing like that. There's no sugarcoating it. It is the most shocking trade in NBA history. Is it the biggest trade in NBA history? Is it the most monumental? I think that's to be seen. But as far as the fact that no one knew, that's what the shocking thing is. Luka Doncic didn't know. LeBron James supposedly didn't know in the Lakers, and Anthony Davis didn't know. So the full trade, Luka Doncic gets traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis. There were a few other players involved. There was another pick involved. But really the meat on the bone here was Luka Doncic going to LA. And the fact that they made this move, trading a perennial MVP every single year that is only 25 years old, who is younger than me, turning 26, I believe, this month, before or as he's entering his prime is actually one of the craziest fucking things that you could ever do. Just the idea of it. Just thinking, not focusing on why they did it. They don't like that he doesn't play defense. They think he's out of shape. His leadership skills are this or that. Take all of that away. And you just look at the trade of Luka Doncic and players for Anthony Davis, one other guy, and a pick. Just looking at that, that is the worst trade in NBA history. The Dallas Mavericks, I think, will be competitive this year. I think they may even be competitive next year because you have Kyrie, you have Anthony Davis, you kept a lot of the core guys in Dallas. You have PJ Washington, you have Daniel Gafford, you have Derek Lively, you have pieces there still. I think that they can be competitive. But that's just the short-term future. When you look at the long-term, they're fucked. Luka Doncic, again, is only 25 years old. This is a guy that didn't want to leave Dallas. This is a guy that was looking to stay there and one day have a statue built of him, bringing a championship to Dallas. They were in the finals. They were in the finals last year. He was not the reason. He was a big reason. He's the face of their franchise. He is their best player. They made it to the finals. They lost to the Celtics. Who wouldn't? But then he gets shipped off. This GM, Nico Harrison, has ties to Anthony Davis. He worked with him previously. I think it was at Nike or something. I don't know what it was exactly. I think that there's some shit going on behind the scenes because there's no way that this trade just comes to fruition and you just let this happen. Because I don't know. Again, some of you might not be basketball fans. If you aren't, I apologize for talking about this. This, for me, I'm just venting right now. I have my Sitting Courtside basketball podcast that I'm actually going to film right after this. So if you are a basketball fan and want to hear more about this, check out Sitting Courtside, subscribe, check it out on audio-only platforms as well. But in the interviews, the press conferences, whatever, this guy just seemed like he doesn't give a fuck about the Dallas Mavericks and their future. It seems like he just went into business for himself. He had his head coach, Jason Kidd, next to him, and he was outright saying, I didn't let him in on this or whatever, which not letting a coach know that you're trading the team's best player and shaking up the roster is kind of silly. And then he answers questions and leaves Jason Kidd there to answer everything else. Everything surrounding this is just, it's weird. Because initially you want to think that they said that they traded him because of defense, leadership, whatever. It makes you want to think that there's something deeper, like, oh, the injury that he has now is worse than you think. Or there's some scandal, or there's, I don't know, something that we don't know of, because this doesn't make sense. When I saw this trade, I was home. I just got back from the Royal Rumble, which I will talk about after this. And I'm just hanging out on the couch talking to Taylor. She was working on some arts and crafts and this and that. And I refreshed Twitter and I see Shams, his tweet, and I, just like everyone else, thought it was fake. I thought it was a fake tweet. I thought he was hacked. I was trying to send it to my friends, but I was genuinely shaking. Like I didn't know what to type out. My thumbs and my fingers were just doing their own thing. It was one of those moments, one of those tweets that, this sounds crazy, but you'll always remember where you were, what you were doing, who you were with when this moment happened. Because this is the most shocking trade in NBA history. All these analysts are talking about how all these players, executive GMs are reaching out saying, why would Dallas do this? Why would Dallas do this? LA now, I talked about how Dallas looks. The Lakers, and this pisses me off because I'm a Celtics fan. And the Celtics and the Lakers are the two most prestigious, the two most well-known franchises in NBA history, right? The Lakers, 17 championships. Boston just got their 18th championship. It's always about championships with these two teams. And with the Lakers, since the dawn of time, they have always had a franchise fucking player. And sometimes they get these players gift wrapped. They had fucking Wilt. They got Kareem in a trade. They bought Magic Johnson. They fucking got Kobe, and Shaq showed up for a little bit. Kobe stuck around. Then you had a few years where it was like whatever, and then you get LeBron James out of nowhere. And then by the grace of God, I don't know if there was some fucking satanic ritual that Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss pulled off, and they fucking got the fucking spirits of all these Laker legends in the past to come in and fucking working on a Ouija board. I don't know what the fuck that they had to do to pull this off and hypnotize the Mavs GM coach. But this could go down as this is the most shocking trade in history. This could go down as the worst trade in history, because now the Lakers they traded a 31, turning 32 next month-year-old who is injury prone. He's been healthy the last few years, but injury prone for most of his career, for a 25-year-old superstar that just loves basketball and wants to win. And yes, he has his issues up the court. They talk about how he's not in shape, his defense, this and that. Well, guess what? You just traded this guy out of the blue to LA, where he's playing with LeBron James, his idol, on a team that he grew up idolizing, also Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, the Lakers, that's his team. I can't see how Luka Doncic isn't as motivated as ever. Like, yes, you trade him for these reasons. Well, now that he's in LA with a probably more competent ownership and GMs and just overall players and training staff around him, Luka Doncic, like, he's already arguably best in the world when he's healthy, but now he could take it up a notch, and that's terrifying for the NBA. So the Dallas Mavericks, the seismic shift in the NBA just from that one trade is insane, and it's so shocking. I'm still reeling from it. Like, I can't believe that they actually pulled it off and it happened. I've been watching SportsCenter. I was putting on SportsCenter as soon as the trade happened because I'm like, I need to see if they're talking about this. I can't tell you the last time I threw on SportsCenter to listen to analysts or listen for them to talk about some breaking news. It may have been when KD signed with the Warriors back in 2016. I don't even fucking remember. But I've been just so intent. I put it on the TV. They weren't talking about it right away, and I'm like, this has to be fake. It had to have been he had to have been hacked or something like that. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we got breaking news. We're gonna cut to commercial and be right back. Absolutely crazy. Again, if you are a Dallas Mavericks fan, I am so sorry. Like, I feel for you. I saw the funeral that they had outside of the arena yesterday. I saw all the people paying tribute to him, the jerseys on the Dirk statue. It breaks my heart for Dallas fans, because if I was in your shoes, I would be in a bad place. If this is like if Jason Tatum got traded for Jimmy Butler on the Heat, I would lose I'm not saying I wouldn't be a fan anymore, but I wouldn't know what I would do. I would go into a deep depression is what would happen. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But again, I feel for you Dallas guys. I really feel for you fans. Hopefully that this year works out, everything with Anthony Davis. I really hope things work out for you guys, because you did not deserve that at all. So moving on from Luka Doncic, I did want to touch up on that a little bit. Again, if you like basketball and you want to listen to me talk about more basketball, check out Sitting Courtside, my basketball podcast. New episodes every Wednesday or so. We kind of move around the filming days / posting days, so should be out Wednesday this week, but keep your eye out and subscribe to that channel. Okay, let's talk about the Royal Rumble, the other shocking event that happened before Luka Doncic got traded. This was a crazy night because, first of all, Jey Uso wins the Men's Royal Rumble. Okay, that was the most shocking thing that happened all night. One of the most controversial Royal Rumble / wrestling decisions, I would say, recently. And it created a lot of buzz online because there was a lot of talented superstars in the Royal Rumble match this year. You had John Cena kicking off his retirement tour. You had CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, amongst others. You had Penta that was in there. You had Rey Mysterio. You had Logan. I'm not saying he's a star. Logan Paul was in there, though. And then AJ Styles returned as well. There were a lot of big names in this match, a lot of realistic winners, but they picked a guy that no one was expecting to win, unless, obviously Jey Uso has a lot of diehard fans. I'm sure a lot of people were rooting for him, but realistically thinking who was going to come out of this match, a very small percent of people thought Jey Uso was going to win. And that's what makes this so interesting, because people wanted other guys from, the people I mentioned. I personally had CM Punk winning the Rumble, right? To me, I think it would have made, setting his path to WrestleMania, you kind of got the direction set, giving him the main event, world title match, main event that he's never had at WrestleMania. Makes sense. Got hurt last year, recovered from injury, back now. Would have made sense. John Cena, on his retirement tour, how does he get to WrestleMania? How does he get a world championship match to win his 17th? Winning the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns, him and Cody Rhodes, are they going to have another match? Is The Rock going to return? There was a lot of possibilities, a lot of different directions they could go down, but WWE took the riskier road, which I respect. They could have just easily put it on any of those guys that I mentioned, and we're set for the next 2.5 months. But they decided to give it to Jey Uso. They pulled the trigger on a guy that is coming into his own, that is becoming a star, but he's not a star yet. He is the number one top merchandise seller, has one of the best fan crowd reactions every single week. And, he's won an IC title for a few weeks. He's notoriously more known of being a tag team wrestler. But how I look at that, people can be like, oh, they could have given it to this person. It made more sense, whatever. I get that perspective. I'm not disagreeing with it. Again, I picked CM Punk to win. It's just the fact that they took a risk. They are taking Jey Uso, and now we're seeing that they trust him and that they want to turn him into a star, which is something that WWE fans or just fans in general complain how we don't make new stars, how it's like the same constant people, and it's like, how do you build up new stars and all this? And one way of doing it is having someone win the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble, to me, should be, this and Money in the Bank. Maybe not so the Royal Rumble. I think more so with this and Money in the Bank. But the Royal Rumble can be a setup. It can be a jump start for a mid-card talent that is on the verge of becoming a superstar or a world champion. You give them this match. That's how it does it. Jey Uso eliminating John Cena at the end was one of the most shocking, besides Luka Doncic getting traded, one of the most shocking things I have ever seen. Because at that point, when it was down to Cena, Logan, and Jey Uso, To me, and we live stream this on Stash Club Wrestling's channel, so if you joined us for the live stream, thank you for joining. I said, I'm like, oh, they're making this super predictable. Now we know John Cena's going to win. So when Jey Uso eliminated Cena, I was in shock. My jaw was dropped. My heart stopped beating for a second. It was a very crazy moment. And I like that they're giving someone new the victory. They're not giving it to a solidified star. And people are like, well, Jey Uso isn't a good wrestler. He's just a catchphrase. He's going to have a boring match at WrestleMania. Him and Gunther fought already. To that, I say, shut up. Stop it. Stop it. Jey Uso is not a bad wrestler. He has come into his own. He has gotten a lot better. He had a match against Gunther at Saturday Night Main Event that got a 4.5 star rating, or 4.5 star rating. That's not a bad match. I know he's going up against Gunther, and Gunther is one of the best in the world. Jey Uso can hold his own. Is he the most technically sound wrestler in the world? Absolutely not. Is he the best wrestler in the world? Not close to it. But he is not bad. He's not bad. Is he great? I'm not going to go out and say that he's this and that, but he is a fine wrestler that definitely deserves his spot at WrestleMania. And he is, he has the yeet catchphrase, which is very 10 years ago-ish, 2014-ish, but it's catchy, it sticks, and guess what? The fans love him. When he won on Saturday, that place erupted. There were 65,000 people there. They were going crazy for him. The internet wrestling community is a very interesting place, and I think the opinions of people on there are a lot different than the opinions of people in the crowd, which matters more. So I'm okay with Jey Uso winning. Again, I thought another person would win, but we still have 2.5 months to WrestleMania, so I think that they'll make it work here, where people complain about what Jey Uso's doing, who he's fighting and stuff. Just wait. We're 2.5 months away. At last year's WrestleMania, we were swerved the entire way. Cody was supposed to be in the main event, then The Rock came in, then Cody came. They don't, especially after last year, don't just jump the gun and think, oh, WrestleMania is ruined. CM Punk's not getting this. Roman Reigns isn't getting this. All those guys are fine. Like, people that are mad that John Cena didn't win, it's like, oh, he could have had the world title match, but now he's not. He's probably going to have a world title match at WrestleMania, or he's going to have a prominent match at WrestleMania. All these guys that didn't win are going to be fine. They're going to have big matches. They're going to be good, so don't worry about it. Other things happening during the show as well, which we have the Stash Club podcast tomorrow, so I'm saving a lot of this for then, so I don't kind of, spoil all my feelings and stuff now. But if you want to check out more of that tomorrow, Stash Club Wrestling podcast coming out, we will go into detail about the Royal Rumble, other matches, this and that. But shout out Jey Uso, man. I have no issue with him winning. I'm happy for him. He deserves it. And again, the crowd loves him. So if you don't like it, then just sit back and just enjoy the show. And just let it unfold. Don't complain. Just enjoy it. Okay. One thing I found out before I filmed today was Pixar. It's their 39th birthday. Happy birthday, Pixar. This is a big day. The 10th episode of Talking to Myself in 39 years of Pixar. And I found a tweet and they were asking, what are your top 4 favorite Pixar movies? And honestly, I tried to think of this. It's hard to put together a top 4 list of all the best Pixar movies, because admittedly, there are a lot of great ones. I have a few listed here. I know there's a more than just a few Pixar movies, but these are the ones that I consider some of the best ever, and might leave some off. I left off your favorite. I apologize. Don't hate me, but I have Ratatouille, Cars, Toy Story, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, A Bug's Life, Up, Incredibles, WALL-E, and of course there's multiple Cars, multiple Toy Stories, Finding Dory, Incredibles 2, this and that. Those are just a handful of Pixar movies. How am I supposed to take those and make a top 4 out of it? I can give you, like, Ratatouille is 100% in my top 4. I love Ratatouille. Taylor loves Ratatouille. We're big Ratatouille fans. Then Toy Story is a classic. How can you not have Toy Story in there? Because there's a few of them. I'm talking about, do I like 1 or 2 better? I'll probably just go 1 for the sake of the original, you know what I mean? But, like, you can't go wrong with Toy Story. Monsters, Inc. is a classic. I'm not going to say Finding Nemo. That movie makes me too sad. That movie is too sad. Cars is a classic. Lightning McFucking-Queen. Ka-chow. The Incredibles is awesome. The fact that they came out with The Incredibles 2 fucking 20 years after the fact, or however many years after the fact. Incredible, literally. I think they're making a third one, actually. Wall-E, like I mentioned, Up. I love Up, but it's also so sad at the beginning when the old woman dies and the guy, yeah, it's so sad. So if I had to take all of these, because again, I left off some, but these are some that I consider would be my favorites. I'd love to know what your guys' top four are. This is no order, by the way, because this is hard enough putting together four. I can't rank them. I'd go Ratatouille, Cars, Toy Story, and do I want to? Oh, I don't know actually. Do I want to put Monsters Inc. or Incredibles in there? I want to put both in there. I want to put both. I don't know if I can take out Cars or Toy Story. So I think if I had to pick between Incredibles and Monsters Inc., I'd pick The Incredibles. But do I want to swap out anything from Monsters? I love Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. is fantastic. I'm going to swap out Cars for Monsters Inc. That stings. Oh, I hate that. Am I going to take out Cars, Ratatouille, Toy Stories, Monsters Inc., Incredibles? I mean, that's a fucking phenomenal top four. But leaving out Cars hurts. Leaving out Wall-E hurts too, but yeah, I guess that would be my top four Pixar movies. I'd love to hear what you guys, what your top four movies are. Your top four could be four movies I didn't even mention. It could be Toy Story 1, 2, 3, 4 if you want it to be. That's your opinion. 39 years of Pixar, 39 years of movies, a lot to choose from. So put in the comments what your top four Pixar movies was or is. There's a lot of them. So yeah, I guess I'll go Ratatouille, Toy Story, Monsters Inc., and Incredibles. But that is insanely hard. Okay, moving on to the last topic that we have here. We have comments of the week, not sponsored by Chipotle. We will keep saying that we are not sponsored by Chipotle until we are sponsored by Chipotle. It's episode 10, Chipotle. What are we waiting for? How long do you need? How much longer do we need to wait for this to happen? You know what you're missing out on. First comment we have from Mitchell. Speaking of college, I'm interested to hear why you chose QU. Kind of niche interest since I'm a college advisor counselor. I could talk for hours about Western universities, but when it comes to the East Coast, not so much. Not sure if anyone else cares. But we were choosing where to study at the same time. Class was 16 for me, then 19 for BS, and 21 for MED. Sorry, I dodged the 2020 grad bullet. Well, lucky you, Mitchell. So why I chose QU. Admittedly, I chose QU because they had the best journalism program out of all the schools I applied to, and they gave me the most money off when it came to like financial aid, and I'll support whatever, scholarship money, whatever. But my older cousin, Ashley, went to Quinnipiac. I think she was, I forget what year she graduated, but probably like 10 years before me or something. So she would rave about it. She talked highly of it and everything. That's great. But I didn't really have me as a senior in high school, I applied to a bunch of colleges. I was worried about not getting into a good amount of them, so I applied to a bunch. And I did get into Quinnipiac, and when I did get in, I actually had my mom open up my offer letter because it got delivered when I was at school. And I was like, yeah, just open it. I don't care. I wanted to go to Bryant University in Rhode Island. That was my number one choice for a while. I got waitlisted, so I didn't get in. So I got my letter from Quinnipiac. I'm like, all right, like we got in, whatever, check it out. I visited and I fell in love with it. Obviously, I fell in love with it more too after I saw how much money we were saving. And again, the journalism program that was, I wanted to go to school for journalism, so that would benefit me the most. That's really why I chose there. I think eventually I did get taken off the wait list for Bryant, but I already sent in everything to get accepted into QU. So at that point there was no going back, but I couldn't have been happier with my decision going to QU. I had an amazing 4 years. I met my lifelong friends. I had some amazing experiences. Loved living down there for 4 years. I really do miss that atmosphere and just that, it was very peaceful down in that corner of Connecticut, Hamden, Connecticut. Miss it a lot, but great memories, and I'd say that's why I went to QU. Lego Brick Collector. Thank you for those awesome words with the degree in college comment. I'm currently in my 5th year of college and have 2 more years left to finish my architecture bachelor's degree. It's been a tough 5 years for me studying architecture, but I never wanted to give up on it, especially 5 years in. I was feeling really down recently, not clicking fully mentally with the semester yet, and doubting what my future will be after college. But your words have made me feel so much better. Thank you. Thank you for that comment. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think just kind of going back to what I said last week, I might be, I'm not going to get it word for word. I might be paraphrasing, but like everyone's different, right? When it comes to timing and how long it takes them to get something done. Everyone has their own journey, their own story. Everyone goes at their own pace, and it can be tough studying agriculture as you're doing, or anything, and it gets to a point where you feel like you've put in so much work that you just want to quit and give up and everything. But that's obviously not what you want to do, not the right thing to do. I think at those moments that you feel like you want to quit, those are the moments that you push through and continue going. And that's what I think makes you stronger, is that, those urges to quit and wanting to walk away from something, but coming back and realizing, no, like I have to, I can do this and stuff. I think that is super important. And I'm very happy to hear that my words have made you feel better. But I tell you, don't doubt your future. Trust the process. Keep going with it and stuff. And, life after college is scary, and it's scary for everyone. So take comfort knowing that you are not alone in that case. And yeah, keep going. Keep going. Don't give up. Keep gaining confidence in yourself. Mentally, I hope that, you gain that confidence and keep pushing forward and stuff. So I appreciate your comment. To everyone that is, going through similar things, whatever. My advice, keep going. Don't quit. As hard as things may get, push through, because that's what makes you stronger, and that will make you be able to accomplish anything you dream of, really, or want to accomplish. Last question we have here, not as deep, just kind of a fun question here, but from the Jack. What states do you think are the most fun to visit in the U.S.? Admittedly, I haven't visited many places in the U.S. I can try to think traveling as far as well, I mean, I guess most fun to visit. I don't have to fly there. Portland, well, Maine. I love Portland, Maine. I've been to Maine, New Hampshire, driven through Vermont. New York is fun for a little bit, but you can only be there for so long, I feel like. I outside of New England, I have been to West Virginia to see my cousin play baseball. I've been to Tennessee, Nashville, when my cousin went to Vanderbilt. I would love to go back to Nashville. I went when I was 15. I was too young to drink or party or do anything fun, so I'd love to go back there. I had a lot of fun when I was 15, but I feel like if I went now at 26, I would have a whole lot more fun. I've been to Georgia. I've been to where? Have I been to? No, I haven't been to I don't know why I thought I'd been to the Carolinas. I've been to Maryland. I've been to New Jersey for work. I've been to Texas. I don't think I've been to the West Coast. Never been to the West Coast. But out of all the places I think are the most fun to visit, to me, I mean, my family that lives down in Houston, I look forward to visiting them every single year. So I probably would say Houston. There's so many things to do. We go to the rodeo every single year. I don't know if we're doing it this year because the lineup is kind of If you're from Houston, you go to the rodeo, know what I'm saying. Houston's always fun. But I'm trying to think of again, I love Nashville. I was just too young, so I don't know if I can I had fun for a 15-year-old. I would like to have fun as a 26, 27-year-old. But I think I'm most fun, I mean, New York is fun. Again, I think it's one of those places that you can get overwhelmed if you're there for a long time. But I would probably say Houston. I'll say Houston. The weather's nice down there. You go at the right time of the year. You can escape the cold weather here up in Boston or wherever you're from. But to me, I leave the cold weather. And there's a lot of stuff to do in Houston. I'm with my family, so that, of course, makes it a lot better. But, yeah, I don't think there's been any other places that I've traveled to. Florida, of course. I went to Disney. Well, I mean, I guess... Well, what state is the most fun? I didn't really go anywhere else in Florida besides Disney, so I guess I won't count that. And yeah, I think those are all the places that I visited. I definitely want to, travel more, check out more places, explore more, but things cost money. Things cost money. Things take time. All stuff, traveling, a lot goes into it. So, love to travel more, but for now, those are all the places that I visited. And Houston, if you're looking to visit somewhere that you've never been before, you've never been to Houston, I can't recommend it enough. Or if you are heading to Houston soon, enjoy it. It's a great time. And now, February, March, this is a great time of the year to go. So Houston, Love it. Can't wait to be there in about a month or so. So that's all we have here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 10 of Talking to Myself. Like I said earlier, I appreciate your guys' constant support more than you will ever know. I'm having a blast making this podcast, recording this, editing it, as well as everything else on my channel. I've been doing this for 10 weeks now, 10 weeks, 2.5 months, and it's been super rewarding and gratifying to be able to do all these things and put smiles on people's faces and just to make fun content, stuff that I like making. It doesn't seem like a job to me. This is just like a fun little thing that I'm doing, building up this channel, this podcast, and I'm happy to have you guys here for the ride. Again, I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday. I hope you have a great rest of your week. To my Dallas fans, take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. I am thinking of you. You're in my thoughts and prayers. If you're a Lakers fan, fuck you. Oh my God, I am so mad that you got Luka Doncic. Not actually fuck you, but fuck you. All right, I don't mean that personally, but just forgetting Luka Doncic, that is messed up. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Thank you guys so much again. See you all week. Until then, peace out.